Golden Boy Promotions with Marquez Promotions, sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission and World Boxing Association. Supervisor for the WBA, John Duggan. The three judges at ringside scoring this contest will be Dwayne Ford, C.J. Ross, and Paul Smith. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds of boxing for the vacant WBO Middleweight Championship of the world. From Brownsville, Brooklyn, New York, the undefeated Daniel, the Golden Child, JACOBS. From Galenchik, Russia. From Russia with love, the undefeated Dmitry Pirog.
Okay. You had your instructions in the dressing room. The only thing I'm going to remind you of now, when I tell you stop, what that means is stop whatever you're doing, give me a clean break. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Let's do this.
The difference in punching power, at least as exhibited against the opponents that each guy has fought. 10 knockouts so far for JACOBS in the first round, and Pirog with only one of them. And now the bell sounds for round number one. I have ridiculed the fact that the winner of this bout will be awarded a middleweight title belt, because the governing body, which is supplying that belt, stripped it from Sergio Martinez just a few weeks after Martinez beat up Kelly Pavlik to clearly become the #1 middleweight and the legitimate middleweight champion of the world. So it's preposterous that there's a belt on display here for competition, but it's no insult to either of the two fighters. They're both excellent young men and excellent fighters, either of whom could have a terrific career in the sport, either of whom could conceivably someday be a legitimate middleweight champion.
Especially, I think he's developed a little respect for Dmitry at this point, and he's realizing that his upper body movement and his head movement is going to create a slight problem.
Well, the first thing everybody who has seen him says about Dmitry Pirog, and this was clear on the tapes at which we looked, he is not the classic stand-up European fighter. No. He is a guy who bends at the waist, has a lot of movement, and he has watched American fighters constantly. You can see it in his style. Look at that.
Very, very relaxed.
Danny JACOBS fighting in a southpaw stance now. We've seen it a couple of times.
Well, Danny, you can look, he's trying to find himself right now. He's not having the success he expected as easy, and so he's trying to make adjustments right now, which is a very smart thing to do.
Pirog momentarily switched southpaw to throw that left hand. Now JACOBS goes back to his conventional stance. This is the way they'll match up against each other most of the night. Good right hand by Pirog. JACOBS kind of leaned into it for him.
JACOBS still has not found a way really to effectively land punches on Pirog. Pirog's upper body movement is really creating a problem for him.
Well, JACOBS seemed to land more punches, but the best punch of the round might have been the left hand from Pirog. I'm not certain, frankly, I didn't do enough research to know whether Daniel JACOBS is a New York Football Giants fan or whether his cornermen have simply found out it's extremely convenient.
Danny JACOBS has a very good trainer in his corner in Victor Roundtree. Very good. I was going to say,
right hand by Pirog. JACOBS almost went down.
I was going to say, but he's going to have his hands full tonight trying to figure out a victory strategy for JACOBS tonight.
That's a good body shot with a left hand by Pirog. Right now, Pirog's the aggressor earlier in the fight, and he landed a big right hand here in the second round that has Daniel JACOBS on the defensive. You were about to say that JACOBS' terrific trainer, Victor Roundtree,
is going to have his hands full tonight,
yep,
trying to plot a strategy, because I know they were not expecting this type of a fight from Pirog. Pirog is a very, very good fighter.
Yeah, is he relaxed enough on this stage?
Very
It's like
relaxed.
he lives in Vegas.
I was, yeah, especially being that it's his first time fighting here, but he said he's made quite a few trips here attending fights.
Says he's only been here a week. Says he didn't take that all that easily to American food. Didn't go to the Russian restaurant here in the hotel because that wasn't really Russian food to him. He's beating Jacobs up in this round.
When I was, I'm a very big fan of Danny Jacobs, and I was talking to my boxer middleweight, Andy Lee, about this fight. He says Danny's going to have his hands for the man.
The once unbeaten Andy Lee, another very skilled middleweight, still trying to recover from the unexpected loss that derailed his career. It's tough.
Things look very good for him for the first quarter of next year.
You know, there's an improvisational quality to what Pirog does, and Daniel doesn't seem really prepared for it.
No, it's not. I think they figured a much easier fight. Pirog does things that you really have to look very closely as a real good boxing guy to really study and see what he's doing. But as I said, he moves his head in and out, changes, gives you angles, changes on
Videotape.
Break.
I said to a couple of writers that he reminded me of a younger, slightly bigger Javier Castillejo. Remember Castillejo of Spain?
Yes. Yep.
Fought against Vargas, fought against De La Hoya, etc. Castillejo was long-armed, more conventional than Pirog.
No, this is a better fighter here.
Obviously.
Yeah,
that's what I was about to say.
Yeah,
it's clear now he's better.
I can see the Ray Leonard moves a lot, not as fast in the front row, but he's twists and pivots, changes his angles. But he's a pressure fighter, which is amazing.
Moves his head very well inside.
Yep. Here you see Pirog landing punches, and I think the biggest problem that Jacobs had, he didn't know where they was coming from because it's such a different variety of punches. And the right hand here was a great shot, but he didn't actually get a knockdown scored against him simply because his gloves, his body never touched the canvas. But as close as you can get without being knocked down.
Strong legs kept Jacobs from going to the canvas on a brilliant 1-2 straight up the middle by Pirog. Harold, how do you have it through two?
Okay, Jim, I've got a 19-19 one round apiece, but I got to tell you something. I disagree with Emmanuel Stewart. That should have been a knockdown. Be as it may, Danny Jacobs probably pulled out the first round with good, strong right hands. Pirog beat the heck out of him in the second round, 1 round apiece.
CompuBox numbers favored Jacobs in round 1. CompuBox numbers clearly favored Pirog in round 2, as you might expect.
Yeah,
it was a very close call. Certainly Bird wouldn't have been criticized if he had given the 8 count.
I think the more important problem is Danny Jacobs trying to figure out the movements and the pressure that's being applied to him from all angles.
Well, he agreed with his cornerman that he can't be backed up against the ropes, that the ropes are not a good place. But Pirog has him against the ropes again. And now there's a look of concern on Jacobs' face that shows you that there are mysteries in there for him which need to be solved.
I saw that look after the first 30 seconds. Not like they had rehearsed and planned. So, you just have to make adjustments if you can. You realize you got a very talented fighter and start boxing different. Do a lot of feinting before he punches to make him move first and then hit him.
Just because Pirog did not star in the Russian amateur program and go to the Olympics and earn the kind of profile that several Russian fighters have gotten from their Olympic action.
Watching the tapes of Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Look at the head movement there.
Definitely not a European fighter, so maybe his style wasn't really compatible with what their scoring system was over there neither.
You're fighting somebody from Russia. If you're looking for that stolid, stand-up, stationary style, not here. This guy is a mover.
Well, what's interesting to me is the pressure that he's putting on, and Danny's doing good right now, but I don't know the pressure that he's putting on Danny. He's making Danny fight and move a lot faster than I think Danny wants to.
Right hand by Jacobs.
Good, man. And I think he may have pulled one that round.
That may help his composure.
Yep.
Oh, pace.
Right here, you can see the great defense of Pirog, which is his upper body movement. He pivots and turns, good head movement. Very, very difficult to land with 2 punches, even if you're hitting with 1 punch. Right here, you see Jacobs land a beautiful, clean right hand, probably the best punch he's landed tonight. And that's what he's got to keep doing. And after he lands those punches, get away right away, move away. But he's going to have to be in great shape tonight because he's going to have pressure on him all night long.
Harold Letterman gave Jacobs the round. That right hand helped to sort of even the score, given that Pirog has already landed 3 or 4 of those kinds of damaging shots with both the left and the right hands. Good body shot by Jacobs. Pirog leaned into that one. Jacobs back in that southpaw stance. Seems to feel he maybe has a better chance to land a power left hand out of this stance than out of his conventional stance, Emmanuel.
Well, I still can't figure it out, but evidently he must feel more comfortable in it. But I haven't saw him land too much, except the first time he did it, he was able to land a looping left hand. But other than that, he's not been that effective. Definitely not your regular.
Talking to Jacobs in there. Jacobs hammering to the body. I don't suppose Pirog is speaking Russian to Jacobs. Well, that was always the old Soviet persona. I mean, during the days of Soviet Union control of sport in those countries, people who spoke perfect English were absolutely deaf and dumb when American reporters were around.
Yeah.
Pirog's head is so elusive. I think if I were in Jacobs' corner, Emmanuel, I might beg him to focus on the body for a while.
Yes. And then Jacobs has to try to throw his flurs and land and get away right away. But I think that the fight's going to be fairly competitive to a certain degree, but I'm just worried about the condition of Jacobs going down the stretch.
Because?
Well, I don't think he's ever had this type of a pressure that's put on him. These guys come in very difficult pressure, too. Not a straight line pressure.
Well, Jacobs' biggest win was in August last year, almost a year ago against Ishe Smith. Ishe Smith, much older than Pirog, not nearly as active, a different kind of proposition.
I'm going back.
This is something totally new to Jacobs right now, being hit with the punches that he's been hit with tonight, and then also an opponent that he can't seem to control and make an adjustment to. But seemingly between rounds, studying his expression, he seems to be adjusting very well.
CompuBox numbers in the fourth round, Jacobs 26 out of 73, and Pirog only 8 out of 51. That makes it sound as though Jacobs easily won the round. You can see that Harold gave it to Pirog, who landed the more significant blow. So this is a fight in which CompuBox numbers may not give you as accurate a profile of what's happening as is normally the case. Good comeback left hook by Jacobs there. What was that, Emmanuel?
You know, I think he just told him to hit me low, but not even a big issue of it, which I think is good.
Yeah, I didn't see anything really land low.
It was low, but I don't think it was intentional, and I don't think it was.
Oh, down goes Jacobs on a perfect right hand,
right on top
and
of
that may be that. No way. Robert Byrd won't even finish the count. He waves his arms, and Jacobs is gone.
The winner at 57 seconds, round number 5, still undefeated, and now the new WBO Middleweight Champion.